everybody, Lee Roth with the Dean King Training Institute coming back at you at the inaugural Las Vegas MTE show. And as I said earlier, everything's looking really good. We're kind of fairly happy with the turnout of the show. It's looking pretty good. We've got high hopes of having another one next year, in addition to the Orlando in January that happens every year. Well, it's my pleasure to actually have Mr. Chris White from Keco, glue pulling and dent tools, and all the amazing products these guys are putting out these days. Everything from the original Keco tabs to the new dead center tabs to the K-bar and everything in between. Chris, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Lee.
For the guys that have heard the Keco name, but don't really maybe necessarily know everything about Keco, tell us a little bit about Keco.
Okay, yeah, thanks for having me on. It's an honor. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, Keco, we're primarily a plastics manufacturer. That's where we got our start. You know, Keco has been manufacturing plastic parts, not in the automotive industry at all, but beginning back in 1963, we started as an injection molder of plastics.
Gotcha.
So about 10 years ago, we started in hail tabs. We had the idea of adding some of our own products to the mix, and I got to know Mr. Sid Emmert from Dent Craft,
right?
And Sid kind of took me under his wing and showed me a lot about the PDR industry, and we came out with some dimpled tabs that kind of took the industry by a little bit of fire, about 10 years ago.
I remember them well.
Yeah, because they were quite a bit better than the Worth tabs, which were kind of the main tabs in the industry at that time. So, and then over time, we've just continued to innovate in tab technology, and then add many more products to it. And now, really, our focus has switched over to what we call GPR, glue pull repair, which would extend from PDR and over into the body shops.
Right.
We want to be able to teach body shops to stop grinding and welding and damaging, creating so much damage before they get started, and use GPR, glue pull repair, to then get most of the damage out, and then go ahead and fill and paint as normal. So that's in a few words, that's kind of what we're up to. So
and a lot of what you're saying, especially about the body shop industry, is an awesome step in advancement for them, but it also leads so much more advancement in technologies and products for our regular technicians that are now taking on those big smashes that guys in the industry for years and years and years would never touch. I mean, I remember as a wholesale tech getting started back in Texas years ago, I cut my teeth in this industry on big nasty wholesale smashes, the kind of stuff that guys are now starting to repair. And if I had back then some of the stuff that is out there today, it'd be like, if I had a K-bar 12 years ago or 15 years ago, it'd be incredible.
Yeah, well,
but it's really nice to see that collaboration getting to the collision industry. And I've had some guys come to me and say, "Hey, is this bad for the industry? Bringing that into the collision?" No, it's not. I mean, and this is just my personal opinion, but I think all it does is it leads more credibility to what we are capable as an industry of being able to do.
No doubt. No doubt.
So I think it's fabulous. What y'all are doing with the big smash stuff and the glue pull repair, the GPR, and some of the new tabs that come out. Like I mentioned, the dead center tab. I know for one, and I'm not saying this just because it's you that I'm sitting here with. I think I was actually very, very fortunate. I got the very first robo lifter y'all ever released.
Okay. Yeah.
Which would have been, what year was that?
That would have
14?
been
13?
Yeah.
13 or 14?
Yeah,
14?
Yeah,
I still have it today.
Yeah.
It is still my favorite. I have several other mini lifters that I do enjoy, that I do like, but it's still the one I reach for on a normal basis.
Awesome. Yeah.
You know, I've never had to fix anything on it. The feeder's starting to get a little worn on it right now, but you know what? It's still my go-to. It's still my favorite. I've always loved that lifter, and it just goes to the quality of the Keco products, which I personally, as a technician, have always enjoyed using. So one last question. For guys that are up and coming in the industry, newer guys, or even somebody that's looking to get into the industry, you've been around it. Even though you're not a tech guy, you know, you're not a PDR technician,
right.
You've been around this industry for many years. What's one piece of advice you can give somebody coming into the industry?
Okay. Here's what I would say, and to tie it back to something you said earlier, when you said, if I would have had the tools that you have today, 10 or 12 years ago, it would have made a difference in my career. Well, we have the same advantage. Glue pull repair has the same advantage for PDR technicians that we do for body technicians. Big smashes, they don't go in, you don't put big smashes in cars with small surface area pinpoints.
Correct.
They go in with foot,
right.
and shoulders with big surface area force.
Right.
And so body shops, they're using little studs to try to pull big surface area.
Mm-hmm.
PDR guys historically are using small surface area tools to try to push that out.
Right.
But what we have is 10, 15 square inches of finesse to be able to grab hold and finesse that dent out. And so what I would say is look at glue pull first, always. Look at glue pull first, finish with push tools if you need to, and that will enhance your training process. It'll shorten your training process. If you glue pull first and then move into the smaller dents, obviously the magic of finishing a small dent, that's what a PDR technician is. That's where the real training is required.
Sure.
But if they start with glue pull, they can get much faster down the line. It'll get them faster, further down the road faster. Right. That's what I think. So
accomplish more in the dent faster.
Yeah, exactly. Because it shrinks the size of the. Like you get intimidated by a big smash, and you think, oh, I'm not ready for that. Well, honestly, you should start there and then work toward the smaller stuff, because the smaller stuff, whether if you get it down to something manageable, that's the magic in fixing that. But getting it down to something manageable is actually an easier thing to learn. So a good place to start.
Right, and I totally agree with you. Manageable is the word. That's the key case. Because if you've got a quarter panel caved in, you're overwhelmed. You're like, oh my God, where do I start? Especially as a newer technician.
Right.
And newer when it comes to those kind of smashes, I'm talking 2, 3, maybe even 2 or 3 or 4 years in.
Right.
But if you can take and make some significant glue pulls and get that area up, and even at that point treat it as 2 or 3 or even 4 smaller dents, it's then manageable.
Right.
You can do something with it. You can finish it off. Well, again, Chris, thank you very, very much for joining me. I appreciate it. Guys, we'll come back at you here in a few minutes with another video. We'll get somebody else over here and snag somebody walking down through the hallway. If you are here at the Mobile Tech Expo, please go by and see everybody in the Keco booth. Go say hi to Chris. What booth are y'all in?
2005. Yep.
2005. That was a decent year. And go see them at the Keco booth, and we'll check you out and talk to you soon. Bye.